Hey, welcome back everyone to the Lit Medallion. It is football season 2022. It's been a hot minute since we've talked, but I've got Rowdy here. I've got my medallion. This is where the channel comes from. I forgot how I found it. They just had it at the football game several seasons back. I saw it. I said, hey, can I get one? They gave me one. Anyway, life's thrown me a curveball. I've got my new studio. I've got to update my studio. I know it's lame, but you know, life changes. And so what's happened is I've got to just put my accoutrements up behind me and get everything back to going. Sold some furniture, so I was sitting on some furniture that I sold. So now I'm in my classic Eames chair from way back in the day. It's a knockoff, so it's not from way back in the day. Not one of those several $1,000 ones that are still floating around. But anyway, I digress. Life's thrown me a curveball. I have been whirlwind working. Like I said, the Roadrunners last year were whirlwinds. So now here, what do we have to look forward this year? There's some universal truths, right? Universal truth number one, Whataburger is the best hamburger on the planet for fast food. Dr. Pepper is the best soda in the planet, bar none. And your boy, the Lit Medallion, will be at a UTSA home football game. Just how it's going to be. It's now our 13th season, right? So if we count 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 12 season. My bad. That's why you got 10 fingers, 10 toes, right? That's how we got to use them. So I'm rocking right now the UTSA standard football undershirt for colder weather. And I'm got my blue Roadrunner cap. What can we expect? What can we expect? What do you expect? Well, here's what I expect. I expect a winning football season. I'm going to start off the same way I started last year. Anything less than winning is going to be a disappointment, I really believe. But is 6-6 on the table? Absolutely. We're not going to sneak up on anybody. There's a lot of reasons why we could struggle. I talked about it last year. When we didn't have Tariq Woolen in our secondary, our defense struggled. It really did. He came back. And thank goodness he did for the conference championship game against Western Kentucky. I know he got burned on that one play, but if you watch his speed, and there's a reason why he's in the NFL right now, his speed ran down. He just ran out of real estate to actually catch that wide receiver. So that gave the Roadrunners a lot of freedom for him to lay off players and get at a quarterback. You know, like in third and long situations and whatnot, right? He also had a really good rapport with Corey Mayfield Jr., who's coming back. But how do you replace Jalen Haynes, Adrian Taylor? How do you replace guys who you don't know that are in the linebacker core rotation, right? How do you replace Lorenzo Danzler? He's gone. These are guys that are huge. And look, everybody knew Lorenzo Danzler, but there's a kid, Tyler Monkey. I've been talking with him post-graduation, helping him with his resume, that kind of stuff, to help him show his attributes better to prospective employers. So that's how I got to know him. He's a great story. I hope I get to interview him for you guys, let him tell you his journey through UTSA football. But what do we have going forward? We have Frank Harris on a watch list. I do believe we have a defensive player on a watch list. I know Corey Mayfield Jr. is I think he's on a watch list. But we know Zachary Franklin's on some kind of wide receiver watch list. So this is different for us. We have players that are known commodities. Known commodities bring what? Teams that know you, right? You don't surprise teams. I will go to my grave saying it right now. Core-wise, all the players that get significant playing time at wide receiver level, I think we have the best G5 wide receiver core. You saw those catches they made, all of them. They made some fantastic catches. And it's not like they made catches when they weren't covered, right? They went up and got passes for us. Huge passes. Frank Harris's credit, threw it up there, gave them a chance, and they won the battle. all the time. All the time. They didn't lose. It was crazy. Frank Harris's interceptions were all his. These weren't interceptions from the wide receiver running a wrong route or whatsoever. He either missed the throw or got hit, that kind of thing, right? So these kids can play, and we should look to see what they look like another year in, right? We lost running back one, Sincere McCormick. Wish him luck. He is rehabbing an injury right now. He's still in the NFL. I believe he's on like injured reserve or something like that. So he's still in the NFL. He's just rehabbing right now, so we won't see him in the NFL this year. Now, we replaced him with a running back out of Arkansas, which is kind of interesting because I'm wondering if Coach Traylor actually knew this kid, because he was running backs coach at Arkansas for 1 year, right, before he came to us. So I'm wondering if he had recruited him or knew him along the trail and got him to transfer to UTSA. That'd be a great story. That'd be a neat story to figure out. I'll have to dig in a little deeper. And if any of y'all know, give a like, a shout out, and post in the comments below. This channel's for us Roadrunners, right? So now let's talk about why I think 7-5 is probably our biggest and most likely outcome. Let's look at our out of conference. We're playing a very good Houston team. I'm going to talk about Coach Holgersen in a minute. I'm not going to let that crap slide. But they're a good football team. They're a good football team last year. Well, we were too. They didn't win their conference. We won our conference. But they played in the conference with the team that went to the CFP. So they're no slouches. They're going to want some revenge. Can we win that game? Of course we can. Can we lose the game? Of course we can. Let's talk about Army. Have we beaten them yet? Until we beat them and handle the triple option, then I'll believe that we can win that football game. Texas Southern, barring catastrophe, massive injuries, that's going to be a W for us. Texas, I don't expect to win. Not at all. No, I mean, I just don't. That's just me. So we're 1-3 leaving out of conference, and then we have 8 games in conference. 6-2. It's easy to say we play Western Kentucky again. Yeah, they look good. They don't have Bailey Zappi, and they don't have that wide receiver. But we don't have Tariq Woolen, right? Can we get after him? Absolutely. What's the other one? North Texas? Hey, they dog stomped us last year. It was embarrassing, right? Yeah, I know we had a lot of kids sick and a lot of kids out, and we had just come off an emotional win, sealing the Western Division, whatnot. And we did rebound, winning the conference. But then there's UAB on our schedule. They're equally as good this year as they were last year. And we play them in Birmingham this year. So we could easily be 5-3 in conference and 1-3 out of conference. That puts us at 6-6, unfortunately, right? If we go 6-2 in conference, hey, if we go 7-1 in conference, we go 8-0. Those are the games that matter. Those are the games that matter. And we have to readjust our thinking. Conference championships matter. They're what gets you noticed. I don't care if it could be the worst conference in the world. Doesn't matter. If you got to win it. If it's the worst conference, then you have to win it. And you can't be apologetic about winning it. And if people run you down, they say, hey, invite us to your conference. See how it works? That's how it works, right? And that's what's happened. We were successful, so we got invited to Conference USA. We were successful, we got invited to the AAC. Now, let's talk about U of H. Let's talk about Holgersen. He said something about piping in crowd noise and whatnot. I'm going to go on record. We could be doing that. But I can promise you, that is a loud stadium. I have front row seats. I'm right there by the players. It is loud in that dome. Loud. And if you've ever watched the Alamo Bowl, you hear the announcers, they're almost screaming in their mics. They're talking really loud. It's not a good stadium for acoustics. I couldn't imagine listening to a concert in there. There has to be so much reverberation. I mean, it's nuts. The loudest game I've ever heard in the Alamo Dome was Game 1 when we had 56,000 fans in that stadium. That was loud. I was up underneath. I was on the first level, up underneath the second deck, and it was annoyingly loud. So you can't tell me that we don't have a natural home field advantage. Do we pipe it in? I don't know. I'm not there to see if someone does that, right? But I can tell you, it doesn't feel like it to me. Because I've been in there, it's quiet. When we're losing, we're getting stomped pretty bad. It's quiet in there. Like any stadium, it's quiet. Now, the announcer is loud. That guy, man, he drives me nuts. It's just too loud. It's too much sideline stuff. Not enough on the field stuff. I get marketing. I get advertising. But this is annoying. His voice is so loud in the front row, I can't even lean over to somebody and comment calmly like this and have them hear me. And vice versa. We almost have to yell when he's talking. And it's annoying. It's like that commercial on TV that comes on late at night. You just passed out. You're tired. You were too tired to go to the bed, right? And that commercial comes on, Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. And you're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to go to Monster Jam or whatever it's called. Like that. And that's how his voice is. Maybe he needs to do that for other sporting events, but not for college football. I'll complain about that till the day I die, until it changes, right? But anyway, Roadrunners, we got this. Many people are saying take UTSA with the points. I'm not, I don't know what to tell you. I do know we've been relatively healthy this year. I have not heard about injuries in the offseason, which is a case in point to a better fitness, better accountability for the players, which is what makes Coach Traylor successful. I'm going to give Coach Traylor, and no, I'm not saying he's the next one, but there is this coach out there. Everyone knows his name. He coaches a team that's crimson and white. His first season there, they were 7-6. Our first season, we were 7-6, right? Second season, undefeated until the 12th game. Saban was undefeated until the 13th game, and they lost their last 2 games. We know what they did in year 3, right? Went undefeated, beat Texas in the national championship. Now, I'm not saying Coach Traylor has got that in it, but here's what's definitely a certainty. You're now seeing Coach Traylor's kids coming in. You're seeing the kids that were previous administration, previous coaching staff, being coached up a lot better, right? You see it on the field. You see the way they're acting, the way they carry themselves. When you're close enough to the players, you see it. And I'm right there by the defensive staff. They've always played hard. Our defensive kids have always played hard. But there's something about the way they carry themselves now. Anyway, Roadrunners, I got to cut this. And I'm going to say, let's go, Roadrunners. I will see you in the parking lot. I've got a lot of tailgates I got invited to. And I wish everyone a happy, healthy, safe, COVID-free season. Let's go, Roadrunners.